Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wholehearted Living with
Valerie
and Bennie.
Woohoo! You didn't look at the title, but you looked to see what your name was.
So, folks, we are so very glad that you're with us. We are joined here as siblings. One of us comes with a topic. The other one is surprised by the topic, and the topic has to do with wholehearted living.
Right. That is right.
We are accompanied by our sound guy who's eating away, and he's got a big, huge potato in his mouth right now. Iggy, thank you for keeping us in sound. Iggy is nodding like any good podcaster does.
Yes.
Because he literally is smiling with a huge
potato
in his mouth.
Potato. Do you say potato or potato?
I say potato. What
I do too. I do potato.
Who says potato? Is that really a thing?
Know. I don't think
so.
Now
the tomato thing, do you think that's a real thing?
If you're going to have tea, you're going to call it a potato.
What the heck are you talking about?
I don't know. I have no idea. Would you like a swat of tea?
Yeah.
With a potato.
No, I've never heard that. We had formal tea at a castle in Ireland.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It was very cool. It was really, really cool. No
formal
potatoes. Well, I say formal because it was just, we've never experienced anything like that. It was a 3-tier plate thing with all these different little things.
Very cool.
It was really cool to be in a castle and
I've gone to I think it was either a bridal shower or a baby shower, but it was like tea inspired and the same thing. Obviously it was here in California. It wasn't in a castle, but it was like a 3-tier, like it was just so beautiful and elegant and very, very high end.
And they treated us so high tea. I listened to this entire podcast. I can't remember what it was about high and low tea. And so high tea does not have to do with
the height.
Exactly. Or being like more exclusive.
Yeah.
It had to do with something else, which I can't remember right now. So that makes this entire conversation
kind of like high tide
irrelevant.
and low tide. And no, I don't know. That was stupid.
It didn't have anything to do with low tide. That is so funny. Oh my God.
Okay, off subject of tea. Do you want to hear something amazing that I just found out today? Well, not
today.
What
if I said no?
Then I won't tell you.
No, you would.
I would still tell you.
Exactly.
I know.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's not. It's great for me. So I, for about 2 years, I went to the chiropractor faithfully. And it started out because my back was so bad. As we've talked about before on the podcast, we have innately a bad back.
Genetic.
I genetically have a bad back. I am born with a birth defect. I have scoliosis. So it's just one of those things where it's like, we have a bad back.
Yeah.
So I was going to the chiropractor when my back had gone out really badly. I finally went to the chiropractor. I had insurance for it. He had me going 4 days. Are you reading while I'm talking to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh.
Because I'm listening. I can hear it. It's in my head.
Okay. Remember the last podcast about being intentional?
I know,
being
but it's my podcast and I just realized I forgot to, I just talk.
Okay. Anyway, it's kind of rude. Anyway.
God.
So anyway, when I went to the chiropractor, I had to start with 4 days a week. That's how bad I was.
Ooh.
And then he took me to 3, and then it was like 2 days a week. I would go Monday and Thursday. And then it was maintenance, like once every 2 weeks or something like that. So when our insurance changed, I stopped going. And so it's been probably, I want to say a year, but I bet you it's been closer to 2 years that I've been to the chiropractor. So I've been noticing that my back, Peter will ask me all the time, are you feeling okay? Yeah, why? Because you're so crooked. And then I would notice I was at the gym one day and I was sitting on a bench and I don't remember what I was doing, but I noticed myself in the mirror that I sit swayed. Like my back automatically just goes this one particular direction. And I was like, what the heck? And I've been consciously trying to keep my back straight and making sure, it hurts to move my whole body over to make it straight and aligned. He goes, no, you're straight. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. It's like hurting. And so I actually have my back brace on today to remind me to stand straight and sit straight and what have you. So yesterday, I finally decided, I wonder if my insurance has chiropractor. Now I'm with Kaiser. And if you know anything about Kaiser,
It's the greatest insurance in the world, and nothing ever bad happens.
No, I actually like Kaiser. I purposely went back to Kaiser because the other insurance we had where I was able to get chiropractic care wasn't as good for every other reason.
Right.
Okay. So we loved Kaiser. We had no problems with it years ago. I'm going back to it. So we went back to it, but I didn't know if they have chiropractic care. I mean, does chiropractor care is more like a preventative thing, not necessarily so all that to say, I called yesterday and I said, just out of curiosity, do we have insurance for chiropractor? And she looked me up. She goes, you sure do. You get 24 visits a year. So that would actually mean I could go twice a month and just be on maintenance kind of thing. And I only have to pay a copay, like a $12 copay.
So I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. I think chiropractic care is weird for me.
Why?
Because it's like they just crack your back. Can't you crack your back? Iggy's laughing.
Well,
no, because I'm like
I have you gone to a chiropractor?
Yes, I have been, and it's been helpful.
So
at times.
I've had people pick me up and do this like thing where you feel your back crack, your spine crack and stuff, and yeah, it feels good for a minute. But what I liked when I was
if you have to go twice a month, isn't that a little bit of a quack?
You don't have to go twice a month. I would like to go twice a month.
But if you need to go twice a month, I mean, wouldn't it be just nice if it was fixed?
I'm very, very into holistic care. And I feel like a chiropractor, even though I already have a bad back and an issue, I personally, I know there's different trains of thought on this, but I feel like chiropractor is preventative care. And because when your spine isn't aligned, so many other things can go off.
I can totally get that, but I'm trying to figure out.
Understand that people's allergies have been fixed by somebody going to a chiropractor and making sure this was in line. Understand, there's been migraines have been fixed by going to a chiropractor and having their spine aligned. So all I know is one day, I mean, I can't turn my head very much right now because of how I slept last night. But I remember the very first visit to the chiropractor. He did stuff. I'm thinking he's going to concentrate on my lower back. He knows exactly where my issues is. He did an x-ray. He started working on my shoulders and my neck. And I was just like, okay, this is weird. The next day, I could not believe how much I could turn my head to see if I, was going to hit a car in the.
Well, here's my point. My point isn't
or
that
push my head back to wash my hair. I didn't realize my neck stopped at a certain point.
I'm not denying that there's certain things that happen, but when I think of holistic care, I think of the thousands or millions of, I guess it depends on who you are, that we've been alive, and I think, how did people exist before chiropractors?
Well, I don't know, but I do know that with people being on their computers all day long, looking down all day long,
you're not on the
sitting
computer
all day
long.
No, but looking at a phone. I was born with a birth defect. That's just my issue.
Yeah,
it really is. And when you saw my spine, it was insane. Like it's crazy that I'm even standing up at all. It's like an S. And so
I don't have a problem with it. Please don't
I
get
understand.
me wrong.
I remember back in the day when I was married to Rob, and Bonnie and Keith used to go to, his parents used to go to the chiropractor all the time. And when I say all the time, they maybe went once a month or whatever. Or she would do something and she'd be gardening and then she'd go, oh, my back is out, I'm going to go to the chiropractor. So yeah, it really honestly can be something that you could just use when you feel you need to.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me,
like a massage therapist
sure,
too.
Exactly. But for me, with my issues, I have slowly not felt as great than when I was going. And so
I just knew people that have been to the chiropractor like for a gazillion years, and instead of getting surgery or instead of doing whatever, they keep getting told that they're going to, this is going to work. This is going to work. And for years and years and years, and they just live in constant pain. And I'm like, have surgery. Why do you keep, but they had different issues perhaps than you do.
Sure.
And so it kind of drives me crazy because I'm thinking, why isn't the chiropractor saying, I'm never going to be able to fix you?
And my chiropractor did tell me that. My chiropractor said the only thing that will do what you need to have done is surgery, because I have my bottom vertebrae don't go straight. They go crooked. And then that's why the discs are exposed and what have you. And I remember going to an orthopedic specialist a few times with my back going out, and they're like, the only thing we can do is surgery to fix this. But I didn't want to go under the knife
well,
for my back.
I'm okay with you not doing that, and I'm okay with that. Oh, so that's really great. I just hate it when because these other people, that's not been the case. It's
well,
like,
maybe
just keep
they are
coming
going
and
to a
keep going.
quack. Find a doctor that
Because
will
it's
work
been
with
20,
you.
it's been 15 years and you're still in pain. I'm like, oh, please. It's like, this is not working.
Yeah.
Why do you keep going?
And I was very fortunate. And I don't know who this guy is. I made my appointment. I actually have an appointment tomorrow with this new chiropractor.
If you just lay on the floor here, I'll stand on you. You'll be fine.
My chiropractor moved to another state. So I'm very sad because, and mom went to him a few times and she was like, he is so in tune with you, your lifestyle. There's like no one thing fix all. And he's even looking at my x-ray telling me there's not much I can do here, but I'm going to do everything I can everywhere else to relieve so that you can feel better.
He's in tune with your lifestyle. He's like, hey, I can see you like smoking ribs.
He used to ask me about working out. He asked me what shoes I wore. He would say,
did he really?
Oh yeah.
How did the shoes? What?
Because high heels.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
yeah, for the listener, you have to know that my sister used to I used to watch her coaching kids in soccer in high heels, running down the soccer field with high heels. And then we'd see a picture of her painting her room in high heels. It was like, seriously?
I don't know why I wear high heels all the time. That's just so
and now
funny.
you never wear them, right? Or rarely?
I mean, if I'm wearing a heel, it's usually more of like a wedge, so the toes are lifted too. It's never like the high.
And if you are wearing it, then you're probably also taking a pair of shoes if you need to change.
Maybe. It depends.
Like Patty will wear a high heel, like for the looky part of the thing, and then change shoes.
I won't, like if I'm going to a wedding, the high heels will stay on the whole time.
Really?
I won't go barefoot or put on another pair of shoes. But those are, I don't go to weddings every weekend. I used to always say, oh, these are going to be my shoes when I go like just out with some friends. And then because I know once I get in, I'm going to just sit down, but and that still does happen, but I never ever thought to bring.
I will say, I don't want to make it sound like every single chiropractor is a quack. It's just that I don't understand when someone is going to a chiropractor for years and they swear by it, and I'm like, if you have to keep going, isn't there something that can be done so that you don't have to keep going? I don't understand.
Well, it just depends on whatever the issue is. But you're right. There are chiropractors that are quacks and there are chiropractors that are money hungry. And they're just like, just keep coming. Just keep coming. I feel fortunate. I don't know this new person I'm going to, but I feel very fortunate with my last person that he was just like, you can come in once a month. You can come in when you need to. Like once he got me to a place where I was very comfortable and feeling good and I was standing straight. So,
I never noticed you not standing straight. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, a few people have noticed it lately. It's been lately.
Oh, I will also say I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's overtly obvious.
But even like we were going to the pool the other day and with my girls and I was walking and then like, does your back hurt? I'm like, no. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. Remember, it's just become very, very comfortable for me to slide into the way my body is naturally wanting to go because of my spine.
Yeah. And why is that a problem?
Well, I don't want to walk like that. It's everything goes off. Like then your hip hurts because then you have one hip higher than the other.
Okay.
And then
but
your
that
leg.
does happen where your
hip
hip
yeah.
hurts? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I need to be aligned is basically what I'm
Yeah. Well, I agree that you do
Yeah.
need to be aligned. I just was curious if.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah. So anyway, that was a longer topic than I thought we were going to get.
Yeah. Well, that's wholehearted living.
I thought you were
going
to say, "Oh, good for you."
If it was only so easy. I really didn't mean it to be. I because of this experience that I've had with someone else who has been going for 20 years to the same person and saying, well, it's going to get better. I'm like, no, it isn't.
I know. And I get that. But I also fall on the other side of things too with doctors. Like, it's like, why are you doing all of this medication?
Oh, and I agree with that too.
Like, come on, let's figure
I don't think that
something
they're
else.
mutually exclusive because I absolutely agree that doctors can do the same thing.
Yeah.
But there's a point where you go,
this
get
isn't
surgery,
working,
for
so
God's
do something.
Sake, or
Yeah.
something, this is not working and you're in constant pain and you can't do whatever. I will also say which I already knew this, and we've talked about this in the podcast, and this is not the subject matter, but I am going to encourage people to read the book, The Body Keeps the Score. Have you ever read this book?
No, I want to read it though. That sounds
The Body
great.
Keeps the Score. And it's fascinating because it really discusses the idea that, which is right along the alley of what we typically talk about, but not necessarily what we're going to talk about today, but is the idea that trauma and different things that are going on in your life, if you in fact do not deal with them in a legitimate way, which is often through therapy, then your body is actually responding to those things, and it can manifest itself in micro. What is it called? What's that thing? Something where you're in constant pain.
Chronic?
Yeah, chronic pain, but myalgia.
Fibromyalgia?
Fibromyalgia.
Oh, okay.
Fibromyalgia, migraines.
It can any
all of
illness,
those things could actually end up being have way more to do with your emotional well-being than it really has to do with your physical. But your brain is responding in the way it does because it's trying to defend itself based on what's going on emotionally.
Right.
So I find that fascinating to me, because a lot of people, as a matter of fact, as a pastor, this is not the subject. As a former pastor, I even look back and, I'm definitely not going to deny that God can do radical miracles that just don't make any sense whatsoever. But I do believe that a lot of miracles that quote unquote miracles that take place are really just an emotional switch that happened in the person where all of a sudden they went from dependency on, or focused on a particular thing, and they were able to share it, and it freed them.
Sure.
And their brain all of a sudden went, oh, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Now I can deal with this thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm not, please, thinking that God doesn't exist and can't do radical miracles just with, his own power. I'm just simply saying that there's no question in my mind that that's the case for some, but that's another podcast. Are you ready for my topic?
I am.
Okay. So the topic today is, and we've talked about friendships before, but I wanted to find out, and I'm curious what you would say is one of the most important aspects of a friendship or relationship that you think is, what would you say, like when you consider, right now you consider close friends, like you have close friends. Obviously Ray and Maribel are close friends. But I don't know who else you would consider close friends. And
you
then,
guys.
I know. And then we're friends, right? But we're also family. So we're a little bit of a cheat in that we might get some grace that non-friends don't get, right? Because it's like, oh, we're stuck with you. And then, I mean, hopefully I think we are friends. I think we are friends, but the truth of the matter is that you're going to give me a little more grace than you might give somebody else, because I'm with you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's just all there is to it. We're gonna be in relationship in some way, shape, or form. So I might as well like you.
Yeah.
So I might as well figure this out. But what would you consider characteristics that are important? You can consider Peter a good friend too, which is obviously a little different as well, because as a spouse. But what would you say are important aspects of friendship?
More than one? You want me to give you different?
You can give me as many as you'd like. I'm going to focus on one.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess if I had to pick like maybe three, one would just be trustworthy. Fun,
tell me what trustworthy is. Tell me what trustworthy is. Like
that I could be able to, I could be vulnerable. I could be myself. I could share something that is, quote unquote secret,
intimate or confidential.
And that person will have my back. That person won't spread this around.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess that's what I would say for trustworthy.
Okay, good.
The person could be, a character I really like is a fun person.
Yeah.
Very energetic. Like, I'm not necessarily energetic, but like somebody that matches my level of fun, that we could have fun and laugh. I love when there's times when you're laughing so hard with a friend that you start crying, or you want to pee your pants, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and that kind of fun.
They kind of find that fun. Even if they don't laugh and pee their pants with you, they don't look at you and go, oh my God.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say this. Just as a side note, definitely don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But as you know, I was together with someone before Patty.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Who was a wonderful young lady at the time. And I really have had no contact with her ever since then. No complaints about her whatsoever. But she wasn't Patty's personality.
No.
And I remember
Not at
you
all.
guys liking her, having no problem with her whatsoever. But when you met Patty, you went, oh,
Yeah.
that's who you're meant to be with.
100%.
Yeah.
Because that person that you're with, I don't know if you're not saying any names, so I won't say a name, but very lovely person. In
Lovely.
fact, she worked at the hospital when I was pregnant with Nicole, when I was delivering Nicole, and she used to come in and check on us and, be we were these special patients, if you will. So nice.
So kind.
So nice.
So, I honest to goodness, she was a wonderful young lady.
But she was, if you said, this is my perfect match, I go, well, she's really not.
Yeah.
Because she was quiet. She wasn't, you could have a big room full of people laughing and giggling, and she was just quiet. She would,
She'd be in the back of the room, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And Patty's not that person.
No. And I remember meeting Patty for the first time and going, oh my God, this is so.
And you met her engaged to me.
Yeah.
We were already
Yeah.
engaged. And I remember you immediately, I remember one time, I don't remember when it happened, but I remember having a conversation with you with it. And you went, this makes sense.
Yes,
I
totally.
remember you were
Yeah.
like, this is way more.
Totally.
Yeah. And by the way, whoever this person is with now, I'm just telling you, this is a wonderful woman. This other person was wonderful. There was
And
nothing wrong
there's
with
something for everyone.
That's right.
Somebody else found that person 100% perfect for them.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, keep going. So you said those are two. I think you said there was three, and those are two.
Oh,
of them.
yeah. I was just-
trustworthy, fun.
I was
and-
just saying that I would find 3.
You don't have to have a third. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's good for
Well,
now.
what's funny is that the topic of the conversation today, and it's so great that you just fell right into it. Was trustworthiness.
Oh, wow. Look at me picking number 1.
Yeah. So trustworthiness was
Is my definition of what I found to be trustworthy along the lines of what you're going to say.
Oh, I don't know exactly.
Oh,
to be
okay.
honest with you, I mean, it doesn't matter because what you said was good. So honestly, it was good. The fact that you can, I think trustworthiness is something that's so important. And why I'm bringing it up in regards to wholehearted living is that whether it's a intimate relationship, it absolutely has to be the case that you have trust in an intimate relationship. And Gottman, John Gottman and his wife, who I'm blanking on her name, sorry. They do an entire study on what it requires to have a solid household, and the two of the biggest pillars are, one of them is trust. And so you absolutely have to have trust. If there's no trust, which is why infidelity, any kind of infidelity, can really impact a relationship.
Sure,
because
for
all of a
sure.
sudden the trust is gone.
Right.
And you have to rebuild what was there previously. And
And you're talking about, and I agree with you 100% on that. But also when I think of trust with a partner, you have to trust that you have to be able to trust the person to share your feelings with them and not feel judged or criticized or what have you. I mean, trust is all encompassing.
And you might not feel judged, but you know what? You also have to trust that they're going to give you their honest opinion. Because it's not it's not helpful if they just go along with you.
Sure,
right?
exactly.
But if you feel like the person is still hearing you and listening to you and committed to you and kind to you and loves you unconditionally, all those things that you said, they can still disagree.
Sure.
That it's okay. So trustworthiness is not necessarily agreement. It's just the fact that I can share with you my feeling, and you're not
it's
going
not
to judge
matter.
me. You're
It's not going to change our relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but infidelity, and this is the same thing. Infidelity obviously is very clear in regards to a partnership relationship, a romantic relationship, but Infidelity can take place in friendships. So I told you something in confidence, and all of a sudden I found out that you told a family member or somebody else or whatever.
Yeah.
Infidelity can take place in the way, or not infidelity, excuse me. A break of trust can take place not just with confidentiality, but later on me stating to you in your face, oh, I totally understand what you're saying. And then talking to somebody else and saying, oh my God, she's such an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that person is losing trust. And so the idea of wholehearted living is living our authentic self, which means we have to be a trustworthy person. And then we also have to be around trustworthy people and find those people. So something I read, this is years ago, actually, I stole this. This entire topic is based on a book that I read many years ago from Jim Collins. It's called Beyond Entrepreneurship. He's the guy that wrote Good to Great, I believe. And, but this is like his second one, but I'm going to read a quote. Okay. And I would love to just hear what you have to say about it. Trustworthy people feel validated and motivated by being trusted. What's the downside if you're wrong? As long as you, but let me backtrack. I'm sorry. I should have given you a little more exposure or idea of what context of what I'm talking about. What he's talking about here is the idea that if we really want to live authentically with other people, we have to be people who automatically try to trust the person who's on the other side of the table. If we always are looking at other people with the mindset that they are horrible, then we lose something in the relationship. And so what he stated in this particular, now granted, Jim Collins is a big leadership person, so he's really talking largely about leadership, but I really want to translate this into personal, any kind of relationship.
Yeah. I mean, and just to that point, like I remember always saying to somebody in terms of trust, like, oh, are you sure that they're telling you the truth or whatever? And it's just like, I've never caught them in a lie. They've never lied to me before. Why wouldn't I trust them?
Why wouldn't I trust them?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So trustworthy people feel validated and motivated by being trusted. So this is an interesting thing. So if you notice, it says trustworthy people. So in other words, so they feel automatically more validated and motivated by other people, even though we don't know what the other person's doing, but they feel it intentionally. So if we are trustworthy people, automatically the way we perceive other people is going to be trustworthy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's 100%. The way it's going to be. And then he goes on to say, what's the downside of being trustworthy? I'm adding that. As long as you don't expose yourself to unacceptable loss, you'll feel pain and disappointment. But consider the other side. What's the upside to mistrust? You minimize pain and disappointment. What's the downside to mistrust? And this is what his friend counseled him as the clincher. If you assume people are not trustworthy, you will demotivate and drive away the very best people. And he says, this is the trust wager. A hard-headed belief that there is more upside and less downside to an opening bid of trust than an opening bid of mistrust. And so it's fascinating to me because what my whole talk is based on that particular quote, because what he is saying is that if you're entering into a relationship already with an idea of that I can't trust this person, you are actually setting yourself up for pain and hurt and for that other person to feel that mistrust. Totally. And so there's a lack of authenticity.
Have you ever heard of the person that constantly said, you know, to their spouse, for example, like, you know, oh, where were you? You're late. You said you were going to be home by this time. What were you doing? Oh, I ended up going to the grocery store. Oh, you ended up going to the grocery store. And time after time after time, they're accusing them of something. And they're, what are you talking about? These are legitimate reasons that I'm not home on time, or that I didn't call you the right day, or whatever it is. All along, the person accusatory was the one having an affair, because they were projecting on that person what they were
already experiencing.
Yeah.
And so the thing that's interesting is that what I love about this idea is, now granted, like I told you, he's really talking about a business relationship, and he's saying as long as you not expose yourself to unacceptable loss. So clearly you're not going to say, here's $50,000 and, you know, I trust you. Yeah. You know, that's probably for most of us an unacceptable loss, right? But if you're just saying, here's $20, oh, or if you're, and that's a money thing, but if you're talking about, here's a little story,
sure,
what do I have to lose? And other than the fact that maybe what I'll gain from this is a relationship because I'm being my authentic self. But if I choose not to be my authentic self, then I never gain that intimacy that all of us long for.
Exactly.
At some level.
Yeah. Because then this person says, oh, they trusted me to hold on their $20 or to tell me that story. And you build a connection and you.
Right. And that's the thing, is that if you really think through, well, I don't know, I'm going to make an assumption here, but when you think through your most positive, closest relationships, they're not perfect. They're almost always wrought with different painful experiences that you had. The difference is that you were able to work through them, and if they continue to be in relationship with you, then you're usually you're actually stronger than you were previous
for sure,
to when you were still what I'm going to call superficial. It's not until you have conflict, it's not until you have those opportunities to show that I'm going to trust you, even though you haven't necessarily, even though I'm not sure. I'm going to be optimistic.
It's funny that you said that, because I was just reading something the other day. I finished a book that I was reading, and one of the things that she said in the book was the perfect relationship isn't one that you get along and everything's fine, because you're just riding the wave. The perfect relationship is the one where you do have the struggles and you do have the heart-to-heart talks and you do have those emotional breakdowns, because every time you work through that, you get closer and you become.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely the case that, I mean, Patty is by far my closest friend. There's nobody closer to me than Patty. She's seen me in my absolute worst. And I
actually
think
have
she's seen me
too.
best.
No, just kidding.
You have actually in a lot of ways too. But Patty's seen me in my worst. Patty's seen me in my best. And for some reason, she still loves me. Often when people say to me, why do you, well, I haven't had this question in a while, but what is it that you love about your wife? And I'm like, you know what's weird is the thing I love most about her is that she loves me, even though she knows me. It's like, it doesn't make it, why? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. And yet she still does. For some reason, she still wants to hold my hand. She still wants to go on a trip with me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, those kind of things are, and then I trust her, in an intimate relationship. We trust her even with, with what you look like.
Sure.
We trust you.
Yeah.
I do things that are ridiculous at times. I sing ridiculous things at times. I say ridiculous things. And I just am being me. And I just don't, I'm not even remotely thinking. And somehow she will just look at me and go, "You're so weird," and she'll just move on. I think sadly Iggy's seen me in some of those positions as well.
No, it's funny because Peter will, Peter, his voice. I mean, his voice. His personality.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times that he will say something funny, and the group will laugh. And then I will just be, he goes, "She used to think I was funny." And it's funny because the funny thing about it is that I still think he's funny. I just get tired of him always being funny, but the point of that is to say that I would never want him to change that. You know what I mean? Like, I do think, I wish that he could just say a serious line right now, but at the same time, then it wouldn't be him. And I don't want him to change that. Yeah. But
I can never forget that one time driving in the car and it was really quiet. Patty and I don't listen to music all the time.
Yeah.
So we just are sitting there and quiet. Matter of fact, ironically, on this entire trip, I read 2 books. I finished 2 books and we actually listened to a book together.
Yeah.
And so we listened to an entire book. And then otherwise we basically were in silence, like a significant part. We just silence. Or just talking. And I did sleep.
Peter can't be in silence. And I also He's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I also read a lot. So I read a lot. Like I said, I finished a couple of books. And then we read one because Ashley sent us a book and she said, "Have you ever seen this?" And we said, "Well, let's download it." We did, and we read it. The entire book. Yeah. I mean, I should say it was read to us. Yeah. And then, but what's really funny is I remember one year, many years ago in May, I started to sing, and I have no idea why. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Okay. In May?
In May. And I just started singing it.
You don't like
And I don't even care about
Oh, God,
Christmas.
that's funny.
And Patty looked over at me and she goes, what are you doing? but the thing is, I wouldn't have done that in front of some people.
Of course.
It's like,
you
but
trusted
I'm
Patty to be that nerd.
And I didn't even think about it. It's
Yeah.
like, because it's so comfortable.
Because you are already, she's a trustworthy person.
She's
so
very
you
trustworthy
just
person.
could do
I
that.
could just
and
do
not-
that.
Yeah.
And I really don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
It was weird.
That is weird.
Especially in California where May doesn't look.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it
December
does look-
barely looks like
Yeah,
Christmas.
Exactly. So, but it was just
Yeah.
weird. I just started singing it. But my thing that's interesting about the whole trustworthy premise is this. And there's a great Bible verse. I think I mentioned this in a podcast many years ago.
Many years ago.
Many years ago. Iggy just told us we celebrated 2 years. But there's a beatitude that talks about blessed are those who will weep.
Yes.
Do you remember hearing
Yes.
this? Have I ever shared this?
Yes.
Do you remember this?
Yeah. You
Blessed
have.
are those who will weep, for they will inherit the kingdom of God, I believe
Yeah.
is what it is. And what's interesting about it is that when you think about people who weep, normally what we think about are people who are injured, hurt,
Sad.
the sad,
Yeah.
the people who are perhaps poor, whatever the case may be. We think of those people. And I've been preaching on this for years that for me, the people that weep are the people that continue to risk it. Meaning, if you've been divorced, you go ahead and get remarried again, even though the pain of the divorce from the previous one.
Right.
Or if you had a long-term relationship that ended up not getting married, instead of saying, I'm never going to get married again, I'm never going to get into a relationship again, they go ahead and say, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
If you are a business person, I failed in that business. And instead of saying, I'm not going to ever do that again, I'm going to go ahead and fail again. Whatever. There's so many different things where you risk it again and you're putting yourself on the line to potentially cry again, to weep again. And to
Didn't
me,
we talk about this before? It's better to love and lost than to never have loved at all.
to never live.
Yeah.
And this goes back, and our dad, he's very adamant. He has multiple reasons, but he doesn't make any qualms about the fact that one of the reasons why he does not want a dog is because he doesn't want the dog to die.
Right.
So that means that he's not going to experience 12 years of happiness with the dog.
Right.
10, 12, 15 years, depending on the dog, I suppose. Because he's worried about that final year.
Yeah.
And losing the dog.
Yeah.
And I'll have to tell you, I hate... Oh, he's disappeared. It would have been better if he was right there. He's not there. But if I hate thinking about our dog dying.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't think about it all the time, but as he gets
But
older
you know
and
it's
older,
coming,
it's
yeah.
coming. It's just a matter of time. And I wonder how it's going to happen and blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And then I wonder what the future is going to hold. And do I want a dog? And there's multiple reasons why we may or may not do it.
Yeah.
But one thing I don't want to be the case is I don't want to say no to a dog just because of the pain I'm experiencing
Totally.
losing the one that
Yeah.
I currently
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
It's like that just doesn't make any sense. We were just talked about a criminal case that just took place and probably by the time you hear this, folks, it's going to be 3 or 4 weeks out. But the 4 kids that were killed in Idaho, and I can, Patty and I asked Patty, would you like to speak because they literally just did the sentencing and many people spoke to him. And I said, Patty, would you want to speak to him? Like, why would you? I don't even want to put myself in a situation where my kids died like that. But I said, would you want to speak to him? And we talked about it and really what we thought is irrelevant. But what I do think is important is that I thought, man, if these people continue to carry on the pain and the hurt and the resentment and the lack of forgiveness, quite frankly, towards this individual, what does that mean for any other siblings that they have, any other kids that they have? What does it mean for their future? What does it mean for the rest of their life? Now, it's easy for me to say that because my kids are alive, so I get it. But I'm also saying, man, if you don't go out there again and say, life is worth living. and I'm going to do what we said in the last podcast, make it a great day. I'm going to try and make this a great day.
Yeah. And you're right. It is so easy to say because our kids are living. I can't even imagine. It's in particular, that story in particular, and listening to some of the people speaking. But I feel like for a lot of them, that was their closure. Now we can 2.5 years of trying to figure out what the heck is going to happen, hopefully. And I would hope that that's what I would do. I know, in thinking about exactly what you're saying, I remember always saying, if one of my kids were to die, I would just crawl into a ball and I don't even know if I could move on. But then I was like, but I have 2 other kids. I have to move on, you know?
And if you don't have 2 other kids, you have a husband.
Exactly.
And if you don't have a husband, you have a family.
And
you have other people that love and care about you. You're never alone.
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't be. And so, and the biggest thing that I'm trying to get at to live wholeheartedly is if you're not living in a way that not only, because one thing is for you to be trustworthy. I think that goes without saying that we want to be trustworthy people, and it's important that we are for our own character. But it's another thing when we talk about the fact that if I don't trust other people, and if I always come to them with the idea that they're going to cheat me, something's going to go wrong.
Right.
Then what kind of life is that for me?
Yeah.
And what does that serve me? How does that serve me? How does that make my life better by making sure that I'm protecting myself? And that's what I love about this quote. The quote is what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
So you lose a little bit of energy or time or money, but what you gain is so much higher than what you might lose.
Yes.
And
no,
so
I agree. It's
hope.
funny, a conversation Peter and I had many years ago, and he's changed his ways since this particular conversation. But he would go, something like he didn't trust people in the beginning for whatever reason. It could be stuff from his past, but and I would always say, it was just funny because I go, you don't like people upon first meeting them. He goes, no, they have to build my trust. Yeah. And I go, oh, see, and I'm completely opposite. I like people till they wrong me. And then even then I give them a chance. And then they wrong me again and I give them a second chance. And then, I'm just like one of those people like, okay, well, you're asking for forgiveness. who am I not to forgive you?
That's right.
I don't have to be your best friend, but so he has changed his ways since then, but it was very interesting how he had that approach versus just.
Yeah. And often that approach does come from pains and hurts, and again I'm going to go back to this is why you might need coaching or therapy, because you need to deal with some things that have happened, and you because most people are unaware of it. But what I'm trying to do is make you aware of it, because if you're living a life where you're constantly looking at everybody cheating you or assuming that they're trying to cheat you, then that's just no way to live. Right. It's just not the life that's going to be helpful for you, and it's not going to live to that wholehearted living.
Not at all.
So there you go.
Agree.
Well, we keep saying we're going to shorten the podcast, and we don't. So, folks,
well, that was good, though.
Yeah, well, good. Are you going to close us out, or am I going to do it?
Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, you can find us at wholehearted_living_podcast on Instagram. You can listen to us on Spotify, and you can watch us on YouTube.
That's right.
You can listen at the same time.
Thank you, Iggy, for being here.
Thank you, Iggy.
Thank you for giving us some sound.
The potato is out of your mouth.
The potato.
The potato.
Do you say caramel or caramel?
I say both.
I say caramel.
Sometimes I say caramel and sometimes I say caramel. What do you say?
Depends on who I'm talking to.
Right? I feel like
What does that mean?
Like if at work, if someone says I want a caramel latte, like, cool, caramel latte. If someone's like, can I get a latte with caramel? Like, cool, caramel latte.
Okay.
It's like depending on what they say, I go off.
That's
caramel,
very
but see,
interesting.
caramel is a little bit different than caramel.
Because it's spelled
Because
caramel.
I think I probably actually, now that you say that, I think I do say caramel. Caramel.
A caramel
Crap,
apple.
now you screwed me.
A caramel apple. Caramel apple. That sounds, caramel apple. But I would also say a caramel topping. So I think it's just depending on the thing. Do you say data or do you say data?
Well, Data's a man on Star Trek, so.
Oh, I don't know. I do too.
Data.
I say data and data.
That's another thing where it's like depending on what the other
The person's
says.
saying it. Yeah.
I don't think I ever say data. Oh, yes, I do. Even as I say it, I'm thinking, oh my
Wait,
gosh. I
I've
do.
said that.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
weird.
know.
You ruined my life. I'm
Live
just kidding.
wholeheartedly. Please.
That's right. Okay. Well,
All right,
thank you,
guys.
folks. We're so
Yes.
glad that you're here.
I know. And we will chat with you next week. Bye.
Ciao.